Connor Trinneer, welcome to the show. We have not, this is the part where we set level.
Oh, perfect.
This is the world's most laid-back recording session ever.
Clearly, we're in the backyard.
This guy's going to count us down.
Oh, okay.
Your mic's going to go quiet. The music's going to start. This guy's going to point at me. I'm going to introduce everybody and welcome everybody to the show. The show is 3 segments. They're roughly 45 minutes. The total is roughly 45 minutes, so you get 2 breaks. Literally, there's music that plays. Your mic will go quiet. You have 7 seconds in the break.
Right.
You can do whatever you want. You can cough. You can sneeze. You can call your loved ones and tell them you're being held hostage. Whatever you can do in 7 seconds, that 7 seconds is yours.
I think that's just time to breathe.
Yeah,
you take a breath.
Center yourself.
Yeah.
Are you good?
I am good.
Hop in. It's a bobsled ride to the bottom.
Sweet.
You should
That's all
try
there is
some of
to
the,
There's no steering wheel.
Quiet, please.
I love Smartless. I listen to Smartless. It's like my inspiration for doing the show.
We, by the way, have 2 very different inspirations. I think I'm Edward R. Murrow.
Right.
He thinks we're Smartless.
That's right.
I'm choose whatever you want to be.
I'm Dick Cavett.
Perfect. Perfect.
This is going to go swimmingly.
In 4,
What could possibly go
Right.
wrong?
2.
The Awful Company presents a truly terrible podcast. Welcome to Nonsense, episode number 24. I'm Jeff Parker.
And I'm CJ Little.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, we're joined by Connor Trinneer, Commander Charles Trip Tucker III from Star Trek Enterprise. Together, we'll look at technology from Star Trek, some that came to be in reality and some that hasn't yet. Hi, Connor.
Hey, glad to be here.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. A quick programming note. Next week, we'll be joined by Super Trooper Jay Chandrasekhar. Connor, sitting here, hosts his own podcast at YouTube called The Shuttlepod Show. Check it out at shuttlepodshow.com.
Is it safe to presume that the trip is short for triple? The third?
Yeah, there's a story behind this, too.
Right.
When the show started, for a week, I was Spike.
Your character was Spike.
Was named Spike. We went to one of these foreign advertising.
We called for the first 10 episodes. We called CJ Charles.
Wait, who are you?
I thought they were saying fuck the whole time. It was actually Chuck, apparently. I had no idea.
So we went to one of these things at Paramount, which was the foreign advertising. John Billingsley, who plays Dr. Phlox on the show, his wife and I, we get bombed at this thing. And at the end of the night, I don't know, for some stupid idea, I'm next to the bar and I'm like, hey, you know what, John? They own all the booze. And since we work for them, we kind of own it too. Let's take some. So we each grabbed 2 bottles of chartreuse and just nothing good.
Paramount doesn't check your trunk when you leave, do they?
No, not then.
You're good.
So we get home the next morning, hungover like hell. We have to work in that sewage treatment plant down by Long Beach.
We just call that Torrance, by the way.
Yeah.
You know.
And it was all just right here all day long, not feeling great. I get home, I'm told, Rick Berman wants to talk to you.
Rick is the producer of the show.
Yeah. And I was like, God damn it, I'm going to get fired.
For stealing booze.
For stealing
For
booze.
stealing 17 cents worth of booze.
I've been on my job of my dreams for a week, and I'm going to get fired for stealing chartreuse.
You had a good run.
Yeah. So he calls me up and he's like, hey, buddy. And I said, all right, that's better. I got off my knees.
Sure.
And he goes, so we're going to change your name.
That's what he was calling you in for? He wasn't
Yes.
calling in for the booze at all?
No, he said UPN already has a guy named Spike on Buffy. We can't have 2 Spikes on the network, so we're going to rename you Trip. I stop hyperventilating.
Sure.
I take the brown paper bag away from my mouth.
Pick up the bottle of green chartreuse.
He's like, yeah, that's how Trip came about.
It is Sneak a Kiss Day.
Wow, that was a hard right turn right there.
I'm just trying to move us forward.
Wait, it's National Sneak a Kiss Day?
It is National Sneak a Kiss
I
Day.
don't think that works in the Me Too movement. I don't think it's like if I'm on the train, I should just be like, I want to sneak a kiss on this.
Well, I think it's also
random dude next to me.
It's also National Face Slapping Day, so I think they work together. Yeah.
That's nice.
Oh, followed by the National Need of the Nuts Day. That's great. That's lovely. I see how this works.
And it's also Megalodon Day.
Where do you find these? Megalodon.
Megalodon's like a big shark, right?
Yeah, but they have a day?
Of course they have a day. Sharks generally have a week.
I need to see your sources. They do have a week typically.
They do. It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
They're down to a day.
All right. We have to get to some headlines, and there have been a few. Looming El Nino could cost the world trillions of dollars. We're heading toward a hot summer and a very, very wet winter.
It's supposed to be, what I read was there's like a 98% chance that the next 5 years will be one of the hottest years on record.
Well, every year for the last 20 years has been hotter. That's not like saying anything.
I know, which is the interesting part. It's like the last 8 years have been the hottest
From the
year.
Department of Duh.
Well, wait, did they predict what this year would be like?
Yeah, they're saying this year's going to be a hot summer and a very wet winter. El Nino.
I'm cool with that.
Well, this is what we were wondering. How's Connor going to react to the weather?
Yeah.
And if it wasn't going to be good for you, we were going to write in a very strongly worded letter.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Can we get something done about this?
A Chinese space laser warming us all up.
I mean, look, I'd rather have at least the kind of rain that we got this winter, if we're going to have the kind of
You're
hot
going to get it again.
summers.
You're going to get it the next winter,
But
supposedly.
this is unfair, though. You're from the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
right?
it feels like home.
Like, exactly.
Yeah, actually, we probably got more than my parents did in Washington State this year.
My first 3 times to Seattle, it was sunny and beautiful. I'm like, why doesn't everybody live here? It's super nice. Every time I've ever gone since, there's no sun. It's just
the first time I went to Seattle, it was
Gorgeous.
like 46 days they had not had rain. And I was like, this is the most beautiful place in the world. And
We should all live
everyone is saying, it's a drought. We're all going to die.
yeah.
totally. Yeah.
Or just wait.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
said that. Everybody was much more worried about the complete lack of rain. We have nothing to drink. We have no reserves here.
Yeah,
Right.
Because
and
we've
then
never needed them.
I tell people that in LA, I'm like, it rains 2 weeks out of the year total, like net aggregate 2 weeks. And then this year, we just got pounded for 4 months of nonstop.
Amazon Prime Air hoped for 10,000 drone deliveries this year. It's only done 100.
So they're close.
Yeah, they're on.
They're sneaking up on it.
What they do is the last day.
Yeah,
they do
totally. Christmas time, they're just dropping
9,000.
No, they're going to deliver the
900.
they're going to deliver the pieces individually.
Yeah, delivery expected tomorrow or meh.
Yeah, next day
Maybe.
or maybe.
There is a company in Africa, Zipline, delivering medical supplies,
Yeah,
and their
that's super
drone
cool.
delivery is really working. They're
Yeah.
doing thousands of deliveries every day.
It seems like the problem on this though is that people aren't ordering it. It's not like it's a technical problem.
People aren't ordering from Amazon.
Ordering
that's
via,
the problem.
via this program, via this whatever air drone delivery
Well, there's
program.
only 2 places in the
Yeah.
world where you can get the drone delivery.
It's like
Pentagon and
It's in the middle of nowhere in Texas, and it's in the middle of nowhere in California.
yeah, it's and Jeff Bezos' house.
And nobody's ordering.
is it extra?
I don't know. You know more about this than I do.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm guessing because it's like instead of same day, it's like in the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
So maybe they charge another $5 or something. I don't know.
It's an extra $5 to have a drone delivery. Is
I
that
don't
what
know.
you're saying?
I'm assuming it would be right because if you want same day delivery,
It's costing them probably $750
Yeah,
per
totally.
delivery.
Totally.
So why are they charging you $5?
do you think you know what we should do? Walmart should just go there and just order a bunch of shit, try to drain all their revenue. Just order Legos one at a time, just deliver to their house in whatever Lancaster, California.
Apparently, they're doing about 1 drone delivery a day.
Do you know how
so-
this works, Connor? Like it literally flies over your backyard and then just poops a package out onto your
Well, I
backyard.
was wondering. It's like what if you got glassware in there and
Whoops.
tough luck.
Now you have glass shardware
What if you
in
have
there.
what if you have
Yeah.
a dog under it? Because
Yeah.
my dog's going to be barking at that drone.
Just every time you order something, order a new dog as well. They'll put a new dog in the box. And then you're,
The one that's in Africa or whatever, it actually can hit within a target of about the size of a dinner plate.
Yeah.
And it's not the drone just dropping the package. It's coming down in a little carrier.
Oh, really?
It's then releasing it. Yeah. Gently.
oh, it's got the little, it's like a dinghy drone that,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
brings
yeah,
it down.
yeah,
That's
it's
so
really
cool.
cool.
Does it also have that? What is it? The Flight of the Valkyries or something coming
Yes,
in when you're
wherever it goes.
That'd be awesome.
That'd
That'd be
be
awesome.
worth it. That hardly annoys the neighbors.
It just plays that as it's coming over. Yeah.
Can't you order it all at once?
Lockford, California is where it is in California.
Lockford?
Yeah,
Where is Lockford?
I have no idea.
All right, good talk.
I think that's the point.
I've lived in California my entire life.
Never
I've
been to Lockford.
Heard of Lockford.
You learn a lot on this show, don't you?
Disney has pulled the plug on a $1 billion development in Florida.
Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah.
They were getting along so well. I thought DeSantis
Everything was going great.
I thought they were
Yeah.
going to be best buddies.
I can't wait until they're just like, you know what? We're just going to fucking move Disney World to Georgia.
Oh, it's
And
coming.
they just like jack it up and put it on a trailer and just drive it to Florida. or
Oh,
to-
I think so.
to Georgia. Yeah.
Oversized load going to be going up I-70.
Hey, I have a name, okay? That would be great to see him packing it up.
Yeah.
It's all the dwarves, everyone.
Mickey's got his finger out like that.
Mickey's pissed off.
Yeah.
What was Rick DeSantis thinking?
Well-
Everybody has said for the last 30 years that Disney is a bunch of lawyers who
Yeah.
happen to run a theme park.
Sure.
What was he thinking picking a fight with these people?
I think he had to stay relevant, and this was a way to do it.
I mean, it's what wanton hubris is what that is.
Yeah.
That is exactly what
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
Well, it's the thing like with who was running for president. He put his dog on the roof of his car, and all the dog lovers
Went nuts. I mean,
went nuts.
Well, they should.
Yeah,
sure.
and I think
was his
that-
car parked, I hope?
No, he's driving across country, and they'd put the Labrador Retriever.
Someone running for president. How do I not know this story?
He's Mormon. He was the governor of
Mitt Romney?
Mitt Romney. Yeah, when he
Romney
was
put his
running,
dog
he
on the
put his-
roof?
see,
Really?
Sorry, Mitt, it's all coming back again.
Wow.
Yeah, and no, all the dog lovers were like, "Oh no,
Wow.
oh no, I'm a Republican, but oh no,
Yeah, of course. Oh no.
I can't vote for
When
you."
you get on top of the car,
Exactly.
we'll drive around. Let's see
Right.
how that goes.
That's basically what they were saying.
Remember, like, Howard Dean got shit canned for basically having an awkward yell. We've fallen a long way.
His numbers were already in decline.
I get that.
that
but
was just the thing that.
Well,
ended
Michael
it.
Dukakis, he got ruined by his army helmet not fitting right when he was in the tank.
Yeah.
It was not a good look.
Not a good look.
Montana is the first state to ban TikTok over national security concerns.
Yep, and they've already been sued.
Oh, my God.
Which is kind of impressive that the TikTok lovers were able to organize themselves into something other than TikTok videos. That impressed me.
Yeah.
You and I are still split on this. We talk about the TikTok
You want
a
to
lot.
ban TikTok? What does Connor feel?
Well, my question to this is, how legitimate are the concerns that, China is mining all of the information? Here's the thing. Really? Do they care that much about somebody who's doing a dance in the
This
hallway?
is my feeling. Who cares? Why would China have any interest where Judy from South Carolina, who does the dance, happens to be, at the burger joint? Why do they care?
Well, if you take that same approach, you could say the same thing about, Kroger's grocery data. Like, who cares if you know that I like brown rice over white rice?
Yeah, but I do care in Kroger's case because all those people shopping in the kosher food sections are now being listed as Jewish.
Sure,
I
but you
can
could
go
figure
on with the list of people whose identities you're compromising.
But you could figure this out from TikTok as well, right? You could make the same bifurcation of the audience.
Not necessarily.
I think the point is that data doesn't sit in a place.
I don't think there's a kosher section on TikTok.
There is. It's in the back.
Is that right?
Yeah, I assume. The problem is the data doesn't sit in a company that we have oversight on. That's the ultimate problem.
Sure.
It's not the data, it's where the data sits.
Yeah.
You want the presumption of control. You want to be able to say at some point, if they did something, you could go
What are they
wrestle
going
it
to
out.
do?
I mean,
Give me the
send them a
hypothetical.
strongly
and by the
worded
way,
letter.
It's always with the strongly worded
Where
letter.
they start.
Here's the problem. I don't see why this is different than any other social media company collecting data, because all of their data is for sale.
Well, that is the difference. That
Connor's
literally is the
rich. He could
difference.
get out his checkbook. He could buy all of it for us. We could go through all
Well,
of
he
the
should.
data.
Well, I'm thinking about it.
By the way, Elon's
Yeah.
having a sale, so you might want to get in on that. Just pick up some of those things.
He's got a new CEO. We haven't talked about his new CEO.
We haven't talked about his new CEO.
She's like going to be good for advertising.
Actually,
She's going to
be-
bring him great
yeah.
advertising.
I think
Why?
he'd be really good for Twitter.
Because she did that for NBC, and she was fantastic.
She brought like $120 billion in revenue to NBC in her 20-year tenure.
So
It's
the
crazy.
fact that he's having trouble with advertisers, those
might not
problems
be a problem.
are gone.
They're long
well,
gone.
I don't know if I would say they're gone. I'd say you got a good foot in the door. Try not to step on your dick again, Elon.
But he will.
Yeah, of course.
Because he believes in this free
That's-
speech thing for some of his friends.
Totally.
For others, no.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You, not you.
Selective free
Exactly.
speech.
Selective free speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's a slam dunk, but I think it's probably one of the best selections he could have made.
For sure. For
So
sure.
we'll see. Like if anything's going to give it
She's
a chance.
interesting. She's kind of a right-wing Trumper herself. She's going to.
They don't need kind
she's
of in
gonna,
there.
She's She's going to fit right in.
I think it's interesting that the story that's told is they basically met at like a conference and were talking and seemed to hit it off, and then he's just like, "Why don't you come run Twitter?" And I'm sure I got to believe he's given her a big chunk of back end on that thing.
Why else would she come?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah.
she's got this massive, and by the way, she's got to have the massive golden parachute in hand before she takes the job, before
Totally.
she tells NBC she's leaving.
Yeah.
Or else, she's never going to get it.
It was still a bit of a fuck you to NBC to like the week before the upfronts, just to be like,
How did
oh,
upfronts go? Do you know?
I think they went pretty well.
Good.
From what I've heard.
I worry about NBC's income.
Well, I think after, does that keep you up at night? You worried about Comcast?
Sleepless
Really
nights.
worried about Comcast?
I have a lot of Comcast anxiety.
Xfinity's margin is really keeping you up at night
U.S. lawmakers want to make sure AM radio lives on in electric vehicles.
because they are literally the only ones to listen to AM radio.
U.S. lawmakers?
Yes. Average age, median age of like 83.
Well, I listen to it for sports. Like on the way home from a game, I will always
Absolutely.
have it
You're-
on for post game.
You're not heard that
All
median
that's
age
available
much.
on Sirius, so I'm told. So I can listen to it on Sirius.
I mean, how much longer is Sirius around? Those birds had like a 20-year lifespan. They got to be coming up to end of days.
Don't they put up new ones? I mean, don't they swap them
Man,
out all
that's
the time?
expensive. I don't know.
How would they?
Subscription base way down? I think they need to go IP. They just
Is the
become-
subscription base way down?
I'm pretty sure.
Mine's on auto pay, so I have no idea.
Really?
I'm
Man.
sure I get a bill. It goes to my credit card. I don't ever see it.
It's just part of your ARP membership. Get your AM radio and your
Do you,
Sirius,
really,
sir.
do you really not like auto subscribe to your Sirius?
I don't have.
Do
I
you
haven't had
actually see
Sirius
the
in
bill?
10 years.
Yeah, same here.
Once IP became prevalent, I was like, I have Pandora
Wow,
and Spotify.
Am I an old man because I
Yes.
still have Sirius?
No, you're an old man because you're an old man, but that's just further confirms. But what's interesting is you're fine
Let's
with
take a
TikTok.
swing at the old guy.
You should be more grumpy about TikTok, I think, and then you really fit into the age demo.
I'm not grumpy about TikTok.
That's what I mean. You're not. So I'm very confused. You have like a 20-year-old
I'm grumpy
mindset.
about free speech being compromised. I'm with the EFF on this.
Yeah, I mean, that's what gets interesting. I still think you want to have some control over the data. I still think that's the underlying problem.
The
right?
data is kept at Oracle.
Well,
you want control? Go to Oracle.
You know,
You
nobody-
walk in the door with an orant.
Nobody-
Orant.
An orant.
Not even a warrant. An Oracle. At Oracle, it's an orant.
Not
It's an
the whole
orange,
thing.
Yeah. I don't want to have to go see Larry. That sounds like a long conversation.
He's in this Japanese villa that he's built. Have you seen
No.
where he lives?
I mean, I've seen his house up in Pack
it's
Heights.
literally like there's a man-made lake, and it's this all these Japanese structures. Around.
Really?
Oh, it's
Where, in the
incredible.
peninsula?
Uh-huh.
Huh.
There was one more story here. We're effectively alone in the universe, and that's okay. That's
No,
that's the
I don't buy
no,
this.
no.
You think there's lots of other people in the universe? You've traveled the universe. We haven't.
I have, and there are lots.
At Warp 5, I believe.
Well, yeah, it's moving.
CJ's got a nice car that can go pretty fast, but
Yeah, not up to Warp 5 yet, but we're getting there.
he's working
Right.
on it.
Well,
One
there-
CHP officer at a time.
We're not alone. If
Yes.
we were to ever be contacted, it would not be good.
Why? You think they'd want to eat us?
No, they need. If you're coming to us, exploration. Why are we going exploring now? We need stuff. We need places, spaces. We need
More TikTok videos.
more TikTok videos. Deuterium. We need.
That's
we
really
need
what we
more
want. That's really
deuterium.
what we want is customers.
It'll be bad
We're looking
news.
for more customers.
It'll be a war of the worlds if we ever.
gold.
There's gold on them.
There's gold in these hills. Exactly. I think we'll take anything that we can for sure.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Like if you discovered Marsanium on Mars, that
Yeah.
was some magic thing, we would build a fucking conveyor
We
belt
steal
from
the
Mars.
Martians' cars. We boost the
100%.
Martians' cars. They wouldn't be our size.
You'd have to learn how to drive on the other side of the road, but that's.
The fucking Martians and the British. Fuck. Of course, you guys are aligned.
I knew it.
Exactly. First of all, you said boost cars, which was fantastic use of the word boost. There are very few things I am confident of, like
Yes,
truly confident
yes.
of. I am 100% confident there are other life forms out there. The
Yeah.
numbers are too big. You're talking about hundreds of billions of galaxies.
But you get too far away, too close to your star,
Yeah.
or you happen to have 2 stars,
Sure.
and you can't live.
Yeah, 2 stars, 1 cup. Oh, wait, that's the other show I record. That's the show I record in Chatsworth on the weekends. Sorry. I get confused, Connor. Sorry, we've been here for a while.
All right, enough with the headlines. Up next, Commander Charles Trip Tucker III. Am I said that? You say it.
Nope.
The third, Charles Trip Tucker the third.
Connor Trinneer will take us. We'll take a look with us at Star Trek tech that has actually come to be.
From the beginning, Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, predicted some pretty cool tech. Things that seemed impossible in 1966 when the series debuted.
Like getting through this intro.
Amazingly, some of that tech has actually come to be, which I think is not really that amazing because it's just a
Because he was
progression of
bound to
time.
randomly get some things right.
Well, I think you could see some progression of what was happening with self-driving cars.
There's an awful. We didn't have self-driving cars.
we do now. They all work perfectly.
Remarkably, the Starship Enterprise was not self-driving.
Yeah,
By the way, sorry.
No, you're right. There were no cars on the
Connor
Enterprise.
Trinneer is here. He is from the actual TV show,
Yeah.
Star Trek Enterprise. So if there's of the three of us, if anyone has actual knowledge about the
it's
subject,
not me.
We
Promise.
should yield to Connor.
Yeah, I think Connor would know.
Sure. Well, I did spend a lot of time in space.
And you were a commander.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
and,
just-
and I'm commander.
That was just the mushrooms, though.
Right. Hey, whatever it takes.
However you get there.
That's right.
Commander Spike.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you would know better about any of these things. It is fascinating, though, to think that it didn't auto-drive. They still had like a...
Took a whole room full
Well,
of people to fly it.
Exactly.
The first. I mean, of course, you need that room to make it so that it's visual, so that
Well,
you can actually have
I think
a TV
it'd be a pretty
show.
boring show if it
Yes.
was just one dude.
Well,
Yeah.
not even that. You don't even
And
need.
Hal.
You don't even
Yeah,
need
right.
the 1-2. You don't even need the one dude. You just mumble into some
Yeah, totally.
microphone somewhere. Go to quadrant. No, I didn't even know how to say it. You would have to say. So. How do you tell it where you want to go? Where do you want to go?
That way.
I love. By the way, I love it being modernized. Where you're like, Siri, take me to Whole Foods. And it's like you want to go to Macy's. You're like, fuck. Warp drive. It's like turn left. You're like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah. How you make it work is you tell someone else to drive.
It took a captain sitting in a very fancy chair,
Right.
minions around the room to operate this thing, and this was how they thought they were going to drive.
Wasn't good UX back then. The interface was terrible.
Yeah.
Levers and
It was
switches.
Lieutenant Uhura, dude.
And-
Wash your mouth
and
out with
knobs.
soap. It was good UX.
So what did we have that worked of the tech? We had
what now exists
yeah
of the tech?
I mean,
that
and,
what you're-
and I'm no expert, but I think communicators. I feel like we sort of have those now, right?
what would be the modern day equivalent of a
I would
communicator?
just call it a cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's not a thing.
And not only that, as a communicator, the cell phone also, with your FaceTime, you can increase the things that they were doing there. You could do, you were talking on a screen. You couldn't do that, but now the phones are
yeah, it's crazy.
crazy.
I remember this is like in the 90s, mid 90s. Remember when they had they were trying to bring out ISDN phones that had video on them that
Sure,
you'd have
sure,
on your
sure,
counter.
sure.
Yeah.
And I remember being in technology, then looking at them and being like, those are terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
You're never going to see video phones. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Then you get mobile phones, and then you're like, oh, it actually works,
Dick
doesn't
Tracy
it?
used to, when he started out the comic strip, he had a two-way radio on his wrist, and that
Yeah.
was like the latest technology.
Yeah.
Very quickly, they felt like, ooh, that's going to actually happen. So then they jumped to, it was a video, two-way video in his
yeah,
watch.
right? Progressive forward.
Yeah. But, also the Siri, Alexa,
Yeah.
Those are absolutely, computer, answer me this.
Yeah.
From the original series.
I actually think the guys from Google said that. They said, we want to make it so you can talk to a
that's
computer
crazy.
like they could on Star Trek.
Literally the only scene of Star Trek I've ever seen is the one where he talks into the mouse.
Which is Hello Computer.
Hello Computer, yeah.
It's great.
Which is hysterical.
Right.
And that mouse, I'm pretty sure, had a ball in it.
Of course,
which I kind of miss.
Of course it did.
I kind of miss the momentum of the ball.
Right.
Right?
Those mice worked.
Yeah. I'm going to go get me a retro mouse ball.
But here's the thing. The communicator
That
did
didn't
not
come out
need...
right.
What?
That didn't come out right.
The communicator did not need a million cell towers.
Well, did
How
it?
much
How do
power
you
was
know?
this thing shoot? Because
Did you audit
were there-
Verizon in 1966?
I did. Verizon didn't exist in 1966,
Well,
but yes.
to your knowledge, it didn't.
Well, if you have a nuclear warp core, you can probably figure that one out.
See, there's Connor bringing the thunder.
Sure,
Right
sure.
there.
Yeah.
Think about modern day equivalent of calling into customer service at Spectrum.
Yeah.
What would that be? Or whatever, Toyota for your warp drive, where like your warp drive breaks and you've got to call in for service, and they're just like, I'm sorry, we can't get you in here for two weeks.
Right. Are you going to be around from 12 to 4 in 6 months?
12 to 4. We'll get
But you
to
were,
fix your communicator.
you were like on the engineering team that got it to Warp 5.
Yeah, I was the commander of engineering.
So you would have been the one who said, I'll get to you Thursday.
well, yeah. And I often did.
Captain, we're all going to
Yes.
die. This
Yeah.
thing is going to eat us. No, I don't think, I get Thursday at 2 p.m.
Trip,
Yeah,
can you fix this? Not right now.
I got a thing. I'm watching season 260 of Secession.
I've got Lieutenant O'Hare in the back.
I'm going to be busy. So we agree that communicators made it.
Yeah.
They made it out, and we think cell phones is the.
But the amazing thing about the Star Trek communicator, I'm assuming they didn't have cell towers. There were. You think there was some sort of repeater on every planet that actually got their signal up to the ship?
I didn't even think about it. I don't think they even considered it.
Well, I mean, you had speed of light. Well, I guess they broke speed of light with warp drive because you got to move the signal around planet to planet.
Well, there are some episodes where their communicators wouldn't work because of some sort of thing in the atmosphere that would block it.
That would do it.
When you need that to work for the story, sure.
It's one of those.
Right.
Was it one of those Chinese spy balloons? Was that what got in the way?
Yeah, and a couple of...
A light cloud cover, and
Right.
so it totally stops working.
It's like DirecTV. It rains a little bit and it just goes to shit.
Yeah.
They're like, we've mastered intergalactical travel, but fucking rain. Rain just really sets us
Stymies
back.
us, brings us to a halt.
Yeah,
But
it's
we're
a-
working on it.
Spock, stop crossing in front of me. I'm not getting any range here.
Spock, stand on one leg and hold it over your head. He's got some like tinfoil and
Exactly.
like in your Smash kit. There's like some tinfoil and like a hanger.
Now,
Is
your
that-
cell phone actually can talk to your current modern day cell phone.
Yes.
Can talk to a low orbiting satellite.
Yes.
but the antenna on that thing is like a football field to be able to receive that.
Sure, I think it's a little small in a football field, but
700 square feet, is that big? I don't know. I don't play football. Is that bigger
the
or smaller?
smallest football field, 700 square feet. That is a football field for literally hamsters.
Exactly.
Like hamsters are. You have no. What have you been telling people is 12 inches? I'm pretty sure I've got a good idea. I don't want to get in the shower, but I'm pretty sure I know how this works. You're like, this is a foot. You're like,
What's that show we watched during the Puppy Bowl during the Super Bowl? Before the Super Bowl, they used to have the Puppy Bowl.
Oh, yeah, the dogs running
It's a
around?
miniature football
I've
field.
never understood that.
And that probably is 700 square feet.
Is that 700 square feet?
So that's pretty much it then. Just the communicator. That's
That's
the
it.
one
No,
thing
no.
that Gene
Yeah,
came
yeah,
up with.
right. Well done, Star Trek.
Wow, good work.
Really prophesize
By the
that
way,
future.
He figured out that voice communication would be just fine. You can punch this thing and you can talk by voice to the starship. But there was nothing else that this communicator would do. There were no games.
Well, yeah.
There were no the tricorder.
no
the tricorder
games.
wasn't built into it.
I'm pretty sure it had Candy Crush. Yeah. What do you think they did in between shoots? They're just all playing Candy Crush
I mean,
in their
think about your phone.
communicators.
He was holding a tricorder, or whatever that thing was, the medical device, so he could diagnose.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just make that as an app?
App? What's an app? I mean, yeah.
Combined devices.
Gene predicted a lot of things, but he didn't predict apps.
He didn't break the ecosystem. Maybe he didn't want
The
to pay.
one thing you
Oh,
wouldn't-
I know the answer to this.
What's
You
that?
know why he didn't put the tricorder on the? He didn't want to pay 30% to Apple.
Because you'd have had to buy it
Exactly.
through the App Store.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Right.
He was like, "Fuck you! I'm going to make my own device."
Exactly. I'm a futurist.
Yeah, he's a futurist. He
Yeah.
really knew what was going on.
The one app you don't use on your phone, the very last, you will never go to this app unless you have no other choice. What is it?
Insert grinder joke here. I don't know if that's going to play, but
It's the one labeled phone.
that's not the last one I go
Oh
to.
my God, it's the last one I
love
go to.
calling people. I love talking
Oh,
to people.
man.
Just not you.
You don't?
We do it here.
You call people by voice and chat with them every chance you get?
No, but I do it every day. I talk to people.
He's a little introverted, Connor. He's not a big fan of talking to people.
I talk during the course of this show, right? It's a 45-minute show. We record it in 17 minutes and then just slow it down.
Yep.
And that's all the talking I do.
for the week.
When you're done.
Then
for
I'm
the week,
done.
you're done.
Till he
Yep.
comes back next
You're
week.
tapped out.
I have said all
It's
the
just-
words I have.
The rest of the week is just all ASL.
Exactly.
ASL and DoorDash. That's it.
It
That's all
sounds of me brushing my hair.
Yeah.
It's Marcel.
Mid 90s ish. Remember cell phones? We all got cell phones. Everybody here got a cell phone in the early mid 90s, right? And when you got it, the first thing you did was voice, because that was the interesting part. Well, no, you started getting very basic texting around that time, but it was terrible.
Oh, it was awful.
T9. You're like 777-333.
Right, you had to push the key 19 times to get the letter you wanted.
In my brain, I was like, even then, I was like, we're going backwards. Why would I send you a message when I can call you? Like, it's so much more bandwidth. I know
If
where you're
I'm
going
on
with
the
this.
planet Gurkhan, or whatever the sci-fi planet name is,
Sure.
I'm only texting the Starship Enterprise and saying, we're hungry down here, send a pizza.
That's a terrible.
Whatever they.
That's a terrible TV show. That's a terrible TV show. You can't.
Watching a guy sitting there text.
He's like,
Hold on.
Hang on.
Fucking backspace.
Plus,
Yeah,
I got to push
it.
this key 19 times to get the letter I want.
Yeah, but it always seemed like it was
We're
a step
having
backwards.
a pepperoni pizza. They're going to beam it down.
Wow, I had pepperoni once. Let me tell you, it was not fun. A lot of creams. Took a lot of pink spots.
Penicillin.
Yep, penicillin is your friend. But it felt like a step backwards. I don't think you can give Gene a hard time because he didn't think about texting.
Voice is way more data than text.
That's what I mean. Voice, but it's the future, right? So it should be voice or video or holograms,
Okay.
not text. You're like, how do I send a telegram on the communicator? I don't understand.
and how do you type with just your thumbs?
What, you're not dit. What? No. How do you?
By the way, there were knobs on this thing. You had to actually. He was tuning something before
Sure.
he could talk.
Oh, yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that? Or was he just setting the volume so that it wouldn't be too loud?
Well, it's a frequency thing.
but
frequency.
how would then the Starship know what frequency he was going on? What did the knobs do?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. I was going to say.
I know you.
I'd hate to dash this
I know
for
you,
you.
Connor, the actor, know that it does nothing. What in the fiction of the show did it do?
Oh no, I think it was dialing in frequency.
Why would you dial in frequency?
Well, but like on a walkie-talkie, you would do that.
Yeah,
you
you
would
know,
pick a different band.
I would have to somehow tell them what band to find me on.
No, you wouldn't
They
have
have a
to.
big scanner.
Maybe they have an
theirs is a big
AI.
scanner.
Exactly. They had an AI. They had
Well,
Star
it's
Trek GPT that would find the band you
And
were
it
on.
solved
if they-
problems of hey,
If they had Star Trek GPT, they didn't need the room full of people to fly the ship.
Well, that was the next version that never made it to air.
and they also solved the problem of people thinking or saying, yeah, but what if the atmospheres are different? What if they do this one time? You're done. You don't have to do anything else.
put all
You're
the
like,
knobs. That's great. That's actually great. You want to have like
Got it.
You want to have like the most vanilla knob that you can turn to every time you bring something up. You're like, what about the time continuum? You're like, oh, the knob. And they're like,
it's just the knob. It's just the knob.
knob. Yeah, you got the knob.
Right.
We set it to stun or 11 or whatever it goes to.
Oh yeah, they had a separate phaser.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why couldn't that have been just part of the? Again, the App Store fee. I forgot.
You don't want to pay the App Store every time you got
Yeah,
to
of
phase
course.
somebody.
Right.
I do love a stun as a service. That'd be great. It's like $3 every time you stun somebody. It's just like, oh fuck, I got this guy stunning.
But
This guy's gonna kill me. Don't shoot him though. It's $3.
Right.
You're like, fuck, hold on. You're like,
I'm
your-
over my limit.
Your CVV code. You're like, what is it? 816. Hold on.
Yeah, if you do it a lot, you get unlimited.
Do it unlimited. Yeah.
Unlimited stunning.
Yeah, you also get registered, I think,
Yeah,
at that
right.
point. You're on a state list.
We had since we were a prequel, we had phase pistols and not phasers.
And it would what? What would a phase pistol do?
Well, a phase pistol, it had a cartridge that you had to put in there, as opposed to just like the never-ending amount of
Never-ending.
energy
Yeah,
that you could
yeah.
have in the future.
and you had to pop in the cartridges and take out the cartridges.
Yeah.
What was the cartridge in the case of a phaser? Was it a battery? What would be?
a couple of double A's.
2 watch batteries. You got to buy on Amazon.
Hey, anybody got a battery? I'm out.
Pain in the ass. Yeah. Was it designed to be like a clip, or was it like you needed a screwdriver?
It was like it popped open,
It popped
and
open,
you,
yeah,
and
okay.
you'd slide it in. And we had two prototypes when we shot the pilot, and they were very, very expensive. Eventually, you could buy them at Walmart for $15.
Sure.
And we wound up using those.
Oh
you
yeah,
really?
of course.
Oh yeah,
yeah, sure.
Oh, that's
they
really
were,
funny.
They were
Of course.
great.
Yeah.
They were perfect. And
the first tricorder is a salt shaker.
Yeah.
that he got like
Is that-
the prop guy got
Really?
like the night before. Yeah.
And then just like threw some tape on it,
Painted
and
it up
Painted
and
it up.
good
That's
to go.
great.
no one will know the difference.
By the way, they looked at 9,000 other objects that could be the tricorder before Gene said, "Oh no, it's the salt shaker."
It's a salt shaker. It makes perfect sense.
So we had these two prototypes, and we were using them for the shooting. And I had a scene with Scott Bakula, who played the captain, doing like a fist fight against the bad guys. And bang, bang, bang! I fall down. I break one. Of
course.
And there are
That's
only
coming out of
two.
your pay,
yeah,
Connor.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so the props guys are losing their mind. And I
because
said,
they're expensive to make one off.
"Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
So they said, "Well, we got to go again. We didn't get this." And I looked over at Scott, and I was like, "Can I borrow your phase pistol?" And he goes, "Don't break it." And I was like, "Come on, I'm not going to break it. I know how to fall now." Bang, 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 snap,
Break.
crack, break. Broke
Break.
them both in
Yeah.
15
What did
minutes.
they make them out of? They were so breakable. You can boldly
Glass.
go where no man has
Glass,
gone
of
before.
course.
You can travel across the universe, but apparently the pistol
The best thing we got
breaks.
is glass.
Yeah, I think they were duct taped together. The first
Probably.
ones though, they ran out of time.
Was Scott like, I'm going to tell him about the fucking green chartreuse, Connor?
Yeah, you're fired.
You're fired.
Fired.
This is it.
We keep trying to
This is
fire
done.
you, and this is
No.
now you're fired.
Now
We've
we
got a
have
list.
cause.
Several pieces of cause.
Somebody call Paramount HR.
Right.
So did they like just super glue it back together?
We had to literally put the broken ones back in our holster.
Wow.
See, now when you would do a pilot, the toys would long be manufactured because
Before.
they would need to hit the shelves before the show hit the air.
Yeah, that's true.
Now you think of the ancillary money first.
It's not the
Right.
ancillary money. It turns
no,
out
it's the primary
It's the
money.
primary money.
Exactly.
The show is sort of secondary. All right, up next, Commander Charles Trip Tucker III from Star Trek Enterprise, Connor Trinneer, is going to take a look with us at Star Trek tech that hasn't come to be yet.
Because some of it that just hasn't been made, but it will come to be.
Well, I don't know. That's what the next
Some of
segment's
it
for.
is too much fantasy and just will never happen.
Do you know how this works? You have to push the button, and then we talk about the
I gotta
thing.
pee.
Oh, well, then push the button. You got 7 seconds. Ready, go. Connor Trinneer is here from Star Trek Enterprise. Check out his podcast at shuttlepodshow.com. We've been talking about tech from Star Trek that actually came to be, and now we're going to talk about some that hasn't yet come to be. Some things Gene got completely right, others less so.
Is that just a time problem? Do we just need more time for it to get there?
He's almost sitting right there. I bet we could ask him.
Oh, look at that.
Well, you hit 3 hits out of 10 at bats, and you're in the Hall of Fame. So,
Right.
For
you
sure,
know,
for
not
sure.
bad.
Pretty good.
Not
But
bad.
male pregnancy, that hasn't really happened a lot yet.
Oh, I feel like I'm in my second trimester. Look at me. I haven't seen my dick in months. I don't even know what color that thing is. If you see him later, tell him I said hi and then I miss him. Like a pen pal. Just send him letters.
Do we need male pregnancy? I guess is my question.
You were pregnant on the show.
I was.
You're the guy.
I was. I'm one of 2 actors who've been
Pregnant on TV?
Yeah, who are men.
So you spent your days leading up to this thing, or 9 months leading up to this thing being actually pregnant?
I got knocked up. I got knocked up.
I've also been to rage.
You're right. Why would we need male pregnancy? By the way, who's the other person on TV who got pregnant?
I believe it was Scott.
On another show?
I think he got pregnant on Quantum Leap.
so every show he
I think
goes
you're
on,
right.
there's a male
I think
pregnancy.
you're right.
Yeah.
I was, well, I mean, it was a long time ago, but I was like a Quantum Leap super fan. I think you're right.
Well, he had a lot of notes and critiques of my performance as a pregnant man. So
Because he'd been down that
yeah,
road.
he's like,
Sure.
no, that's not.
You do not look like you're holding a child.
You wouldn't do that.
Totally. You should be peeing a lot more often.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I had a blastocyst on my rib cage, which was the baby, probably to make it convenient to take it off and give it back to the people who it belonged to.
Okay.
And I had 2 nipples on my left wrist.
What kind of child were you carrying that was so small?
I had gone on to this, well, let's call it a lizard planet, and I had met this really cute lizard.
Sexy lizard,
Yeah,
sure.
she
Yeah.
was-
No,
she
I
was-
get it. You
she
see
was
lizards.
something.
We've all been
Sure,
there.
Yeah, right.
We've all been there.
And then she had a
This
game.
is why I can't go to the LA Zoo anymore, by the way.
That's right.
I'm on a list. Sir, that's not what the iguana's for.
Stop staring.
You don't see us when we're alone.
That's right.
She loves me.
That's
She
right.
Loves me. He, whatever the fuck this thing is.
Don't take my love from me.
Looks like a golf club cover.
But I put my hands in some pebbles, and this was a game she was playing, and she didn't think
The
that it could
lizard
be-
was playing with you.
Yeah, but she didn't think that it could be, interspecies transfer.
Sure.
And sure enough, I wind up.
And that's how
pregnant.
the lizards got pregnant, was putting their hands in pebbles?
Yeah, and they had a lot more fun doing it than I did.
I would say.
I was like, "Look,
Did nothing for
you're
you.
soaking in it, you know.
So you basically went to you get like a manicure is what
She-
it sounds
right.
like. Yeah, you're getting a pebble manicure, and next thing you know, you're pregnant.
I like to think that she used me.
She did use you. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
How'd your nails look though? Did they come out well?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you had 2 nipples on your arm.
Why did you have nipples on your arm?
I don't know.
Did you have them made?
Yeah, well-
that just wasn't the way. The pregnancy didn't cause that.
No, it did.
It did
Sorry,
cause
it did
that.
cause
Is it
that.
like
Okay,
a
okay.
is it like a halibut fish where like they migrate up? Like halibut.
But they didn't migrate. I didn't have enough time with the baby.
Okay.
Because ultimately,
Did the baby live?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's Star Trek. I mean, you could.
Well, I
you
don't
could.
know.
You couldn't kill the baby.
Yeah, the
so
baby-
what happened
Wait, hold
was
on.
is
The baby,
I
the
realized.
baby literally owns Twitter now.
Right.
Was that right?
I'll leave that out there for a little while.
Leave that hanging for a minute.
Leave that hanging.
So we find out that I am indeed pregnant, and we then the rest of the episode try to find them.
How did you know you were
the,
pregnant?
the lizard who impregnated you?
Yeah, we try to find their shit.
You want some child support?
We want. Yeah.
You want some child
You can't
support.
just run off on me like that.
So we garnish their check.
Yeah, exactly.
I was paid in pebbles.
Right. And I keep writing letters. So we find the ship, we give it back, and
Give back the
we move
baby?
on. Give back the baby.
Which is half human.
Don't know.
Why
Never
would
saw
you?
it.
Why would you give it back? You seems like you should at least get half the time with it. As your lawyer,
Visitation.
Every third Saturday, he just takes little Connor
That's
lizard.
true. That's true. I guess we didn't get into the that element of it, but we had to get it back to them.
it's the problem with only doing 1 hour a week. You can't,
Exactly.
you can't get into
Yeah,
the
you
cool
can't
stuff.
Make a whole season of it. Now Johnny's 4.
Totally.
I call him Johnny. I don't know what she calls him.
He was literally the
She's got
fourth.
she's got a totally another name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he would have been the fourth.
Would have been
right?
the fourth. Yeah,
That's right.
That's funny.
Little Charlie.
Little trip.
Was there like a? Did you have to pee on a stick? How did you know you were pregnant?
Tricorder.
Oh, the tricorder.
Of course.
Of course.
Dr. Phlox looks over at me and says,
Oh, well, I've got good news and bad news.
exactly.
You're having a lizard.
You're preggers.
Definitely preggers. How'd you take that news, by the way?
With a little bit of shock.
Were you surprised?
But then what I wanted to do in the episode.
You should have had to have peed on a salt checker.
if you would have worn gloves, that wouldn't have happened. You just had to wear gloves. Practice safe finger noodling.
That's
What the
right.
fuck it's called. Finger soaking.
Those little finger condoms.
Little finger cots. Yeah, totally. Now you're sad again. That's what the show does to you. It brings you down.
I didn't realize I had rights, and I have rights.
Yeah,
you have
you did.
rights.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Did the nipples just appear?
Yeah, they just showed up. And first, it was a little scratchy,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, nipples appeared. Oh, that's what I was saying.
That's what I say too. They itch. They
Yeah,
scratch.
yeah.
Yep.
But I decided, I was like, okay, if we're going to do this, let's go all the way. So, I mean, rightly or wrongly, I was like, I got really hungry at odd times.
Yep.
My emotions were all over the place.
Yep.
That wasn't in the script before. You just, as the actor, thought,
I was like, we really
Lots of peeing.
really go for this.
Peeing.
Yeah, I got to pee all the time.
We're here. We might as well.
We might as well. So we went there with some of that, and apologies to all mothers out there, whether or not
You're
that
right,
happens
right,
or
right.
not.
It's only about 4 billion of them. You'll be
I
okay.
know, exactly. Yeah, I had to have orange juice every morning.
Great.
Yeah, things like that.
Yeah, the things you wanted.
Yeah.
So was this whole arc in one episode?
Yeah.
Well,
that's
that's more
why.
fun if it was more fun.
They should have drug it out over season.
It was
That would've been
out
great.
of the gate. I think it was episode 3 of our series,
Wow.
and I was
You
like,
got it
"You're
early.
going to make me pregnant? You're giving me enough rope to hang myself here."
Sure.
Through the grinder.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if he can do anything. Make him pregnant.
You should have been, for the rest of the series, there should have been someone trying to hunt you down to get you to pay your child support.
Different show.
As you flit through the galaxy at Warp
Imagine-
5,
Yeah, that'd be great.
someone's trying to find you to get your checks
There's
to
a-
clear.
there's
Yeah, and it's Jim Rockford.
There's a dude with like a piece of paper on a blue back, like
Yeah.
knocking outside the ship. You're like, fuck that, I'm not home.
I'm not here. I'm not here.
Nobody.
Tell him I'm not here.
No habla inglés.
Does the
Turn the lights
transporter
off,
work?
Turn the
yet?
lights off.
Yeah.
Transporter work? God, it doesn't work.
Where's the cloaking device? Hit the cloaking device.
Totally.
We forgot all this stuff.
Okay, so that brings up warp drive.
Yeah, now I have an interesting story about this. So
Okay.
I'm in Philadelphia 2 weekends ago, and I'm at a convention, Star Trek convention.
Yes.
And
Star Trek conventions virtually saved the series.
Absolutely.
The series had been canceled, actually canceled after the first year.
And
but
then-
there was a letter writing protest, brought it back for 2 more years.
Oh, wow.
Was canceled. And then within what? How fast before the first convention came up? It was another 8 years or so?
I think so, yeah. And then,
and
of
it was
course,
such a huge success.
Interesting.
Yeah, that they went, wow, there's a lot of fans.
Interesting.
and they were all over the country, all over the world.
Well, the first one I think was in New York.
Was it a
Yeah.
was it a viewing pattern issue? Like people weren't watching it?
At first, they were on a perfectly good time slot, but then they got bumped to what they call the Friday night death slot.
Yeah, and then what happened also is that when it went into syndication, it was available to everybody.
But this was before that.
It was.
When it first came out, but for Lucille Ball, there would have been
Absolutely.
absolutely no Star. You'd have never heard of Star Trek.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is kind of like Farland's Family Guy, where like it basically did a couple seasons and then went dead, and then
First of all, it was dead before it started. Nobody wanted it.
Sure.
And Lucy was like, she owned Desi. She'd paid off Desi,
Okay.
and so she owned the company. And she was like, "Oh no, we're making this. This is
I
going to
didn't
get
know that.
made."
Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Even after the first one didn't go, and they reshot it.
Which never happens. A second pilot was, especially then, was like
I didn't
completely
know
something that didn't happen.
What was wrong? The first pilot just was flat.
Recast?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
No William Shatner.
Exactly. No bones.
Yeah.
The only one that was in the cast was Spock.
Huh. That was the only carryover.
Yeah.
But he was called Spork.
He was called Spike. He was Spike. They've been trying to work that name in there for 9 series. God damn it! Can we just get a fucking Spike in here?
There are no spikes in space.
There's no spikes in space.
Look, nobody's going to believe this. Okay, they'll believe Warp Drive. They're not going to believe a guy's named Spike
Yeah.
in space.
Gene wanted to make Wagon Train, and he wanted to make a very progressive
Yeah.
Wagon Train, and Lucille Ball was the one who had the vision for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wagon train in space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I go to this convention and I sit down, and there was a VIP thing, which is people who've paid a little bit more money to come have a drink with you at a bar.
Sure.
And all the actors are at a table, and this guy sits down who I don't recognize, and I said, I'm Connor. Who are you? You know, what are you doing here? You can't see this, but I'm in air quotes right now. He's a scientist. He
Good.
tells
When scientists are up in air quotes, you know the next thing's going to be amazing.
Yeah. He says that they have figured out warp drive.
Okay. Who's they, by the way? The Illuminati?
The them.
Okay, the
that
them.
he's a part of.
Okay.
In a sense, they've figured out in like it's a drop of water in the ocean, you know, in a very small micro way. But he said, look, if you can figure out that, you can eventually figure out the whole thing.
Sure.
And at that point, I went soft focus, and I don't think I heard anything else he said.
You went to your happy place?
Yeah, I just went,
Do you have a safe word? Is your safe word like mustard when you're in there? Somebody walks by and you're just like, can I have more mustard? They're like, we got to get Connor out of here. Call the evac team.
no, that kind of actually happened. They were like, Connor, you got to come over here.
You're like, yeah,
Come over
I
here.
do. I do.
Mustard.
I'm sorry. I have IBS. I need to go.
Exactly. Really.
Yeah.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you could just set it from the paper tomorrow, but I need to go.
And then he explained it to me by showing me how with a napkin.
Of course.
As one does.
As one does.
But good news, now that the Earth is flat, it should be fine. No problem. We're just going to go ahead and round all these out.
You're right.
Science.
You're the one who took the ship to Warp 5.
I did.
Is Warp 5 times the speed of light? Is it like Mach?
It has to be.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking fast.
Oh, it's pretty fast. I'm a good engineer. I know engines.
I know engines. I'm an engineologist. 5. Fuck, let's go to 7. Come on, guys. What are we doing?
It's easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
This one only goes to 11.
Exactly.
So I'm in engineering, and one of the construction guys walks up to me and goes, "You want to see inside this warp core?" I was like, "Yeah."
For sure.
Pops open the side.
Like a toaster oven.
Almost.
Yeah.
It's a wooden disc like you'd have in the theater with colored gels and like a theatrical light behind it. And I was like, why did you show me this?
Yeah, exactly.
You ruined it for me.
Yeah, I believed this for a minute. Like Santa Claus.
I was going to say, he's the guy that walks on the mall at December and he's like, hey, you know Santa Claus? He's not real.
That
You wanna
guy's
see
a
him?
faker.
Pull his beard. Pull his beard,
Yeah.
you little shit.
Vodka will come out.
That's right.
This guy must be a lot of fun parties. Did you guys have a like a technical consultant on the show or some like? Of course, right?
Absolutely. We had a few. Bob and Denise Okuda literally have written the Bible of all of this. I mean, it works in the guise of the show. You know, it's not like
Sure.
just gobbledygook.
Oh yeah, of course.
Not the easiest stuff to say. I will say that.
I bet.
But no, I'd have to say, because sometimes you'd have just a link, a paragraph of all of this descriptive stuff about
Sure,
what's
sure.
happening in
Yeah.
engineering. I'd go, hang on a second. Can we get somebody here to tell me exactly what's happening?
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's like the medical stuff on ER that
Totally.
none of the actors had any idea what
Totally.
this meant.
But you got to if you want people to believe it, you got to
sell it.
And the Okudas would come down and, this to this to this to this to this. And I'd be
That's
like,
awesome.
wow.
And again, soft focus.
Yeah, and then I'd go, line. But they've
Can you write this on a big card and I'll just read it?
Exactly.
Where's Wally when you need him?
Right. But
Yeah.
they've published the Bible of it. That
That's cool.
Here's how it works. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, they're legends for the wacky imaginations that they have, and it's a very real thing because you got a lot of folks in basements who are like,
yeah.
you know what,
Exactly.
that didn't work.
Dude, you got
didn't
a
work
lot
that
of, you
way.
got a lot of people in penthouses doing that.
No, I know.
It's not just in basements.
Right.
Nerds rule the world.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Transporters. We never made that work.
We didn't have it on the show until very late because
Because your show's a prequel.
we couldn't
yeah.
do it. We had to use shuttle pods and yada yada yada.
Hence
but-
the name of your podcast.
Shuttle pod show, yeah. But the transporter, God, who doesn't want one?
You sort of have like a thin version of a transporter.
What's a thin version?
Like a hologram.
For thin people.
Right. Not for us. For the other
We
people.
can never ride
no,
on it.
No, there's not enough power to power the transporter for us.
Yeah.
It's weight dependent. You would need nuclear fission and then you can get there.
We're getting
But the construct of a transporter was actually moving the atoms, right? Like
Yes.
literally
And
moving the
reconstructing
atom-
them
reconstructing in the
someplace
same
else.
order.
Yeah. I mean, it's not medically possible, is it? It's not physically possible to do
I
something
don't know,
like
man.
that. I
What do
mean,
you mean,
is it?
Well, wait a
I don't
minute,
know
wait
about
a
that.
minute.
I mean,
How do you know? It's just a bunch of
no, I
atoms
know, I
loosely
know.
stuck together with some
you might come back as a
charge.
dog, but
It would be funny if, like, good news, we can move all the atoms. Bad news, we don't always get the order right.
Yeah.
We
It's like an
lost
arm
the-
out of
we
your
lost
ass.
the blueprint.
Yeah, it's fine. For as crazy as it sounds, I mean, I think it seems like it could be doable. I mean, it's a long time away, like generations away, but like it's just atoms in an order.
you got to get that order right.
You do have to get the order right. You do not want off by one air.
No.
Sure.
What's on my elbow?
Spearmint, a lizard baby.
Yeah.
And
Wh-
nipples.
Which came first?
Me.
Because Charlie and the Chocolate Factory had something like that with a chocolate bar. It was Mike TV. You could actually get the chocolate bar out of the TV TV. Neither of you saw this movie.
Oh, no,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
of course. Did he pull it out of I'm trying to remember how this part worked.
The chocolate bar goes on TV, and of course it gets small.
Was it like
depending on
it was
how
like a
your-
giant bar?
How big
and-
your big your TV is, and you can reach in. You can actually take the bar and you can eat it. And Mike TV reached in and grabbed the bar.
Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. I mean, I remember all the other scenes from that creepy ass movie, but not that one. I remember watching it as a kid being like, is this okay? I don't think this is okay. And then maybe I'll start with Blazing Saddles.
Right.
Get caught up there first. Thanks, Mel. Okay, so I forgot that from that scene. You could also, this is a stretch, hear me out. You could think of a 3D printer as a transporter too. You could take an image of a thing and then build a thing somewhere else. Not a human thing. But it's like a mini version of it, so we have parts of it.
Not really.
No. Okay.
When you transported, were you taking the same atoms, or it was just you were taking these atoms and over here with these other atoms, you're just reconstructing the object?
Well, you showed up the same, yeah. So I guess you could.
So it wasn't the same atoms.
If you had like a bank of atoms, you could just put together. Like if you had all this, an atom is just an atom.
So you could have this thing could just replicate you all day
It's like
long.
toner. You've got to put it all in. If you run out of one of the atoms, then all of a sudden
I'm out of cyan.
I'm out of carbon. Fuck. It needs more carbon and nitrogen.
Well, we're going to pause this.
I'm out of cyan.
I'm out of cyan.
That's how
I
you get
can't.
Veruca
Sorry.
salt.
Yeah.
Veruca salt comes out of that thing. You're Violet.
Not anymore.
And
Now you're just kind of a strange pink.
This is great because I'm pretty sure all the executives at HP listen to this. So just like the LaserJet model where the printer is free and the toner is expensive,
Sure.
the transporter is free. You
Yeah.
want to buy the carbon? It's really fucking expensive.
$85
per atom.
per atom.
Per atom.
Yeah.
It's a atom as a service model. An ass.
All right, that's the episode.
Thank you for joining us for all this nonsense, a truly terrible podcast from The Awful Company. Visit us on the web at nonsense.productions. I'm CJ Little.
I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Connor Trinneer.
So happy to have you here, Connor.
It was great. Thank you for having me.
We barely made a dent in the topics. I bet we could do a part 2.
Oh, yeah. If you like this program, please follow, download, subscribe, and like at Apple and Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or our favorite, Overcast, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Podcastindex.org. Next week, join us for Super Trooper Jay Chandrasekhar. Thanks to our floor director, Jay Farina, and our special guest, Connor Trinneer. Be sure to check out shuttlepodshow.com.
You can see it on all the platforms. You can watch it on YouTube.
I watched it on YouTube. That's where I see
that's
it.
what more people see it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I watched it on Pornhub. Is that weird?
It's free.
Was I on the wrong
It's
show?
free.
It's free. Exactly. It's free. All right. Thank you, Connor. We'll be here every Thursday morning for more nonsense. Join us.
You guys, how many have you done? This is what?
24, yeah.
You should be better.
Right? Right? That tells you what a low bar we started from.